Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, PhatPastor here. Thank you for Thursday night hang time for showing up tonight. Man, do we have a special treat for you tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. TinyWhoop himself, Jessie Perkins. How are you, brother? I've got you muted. Hang on, remember I told you I'd mute you? Now I have to unmute you. There we go. Now,
Testing 1, 2, 3.
you're good. You're good.
Okay, I thought for sure I had muted myself. Anyway, I just said, thanks so much for having me on the show. I tried to come on the show, for years.
Yeah.
You've been doing this a long time, and I'm sorry it took so long, but I'm so happy to get to spend some night with you.
Well, you made it.
Your
here.
whole audience. What's up, everybody in the chat?
Yes. We'll read their names out here in just a little bit. I'll make sure I pop out the chat. We've got the moderator's moderator, Mr. Skydozer, here. You all know him by other names, but I refer to him as the moderator's moderator. Mr. McFly's, a channel member, is here. Both of these guys are channel members, and people will start dropping in one after another. Hopefully, everybody's had a good new year, and let me see how I can get myself up beside you there. Nope.
Come on,
there we go.
McFly's?
There we go. He's here. He's here. He's a good friend of mine there.
He's here.
So we'll get started. And then people will jump on in. Please turn up Jesse's audio. Okay. He sounds
I could
real.
also scoot. What up, Greenhorn? I could also scoot this mic a little closer. You guys tell me if that helps or whatever you guys need.
All right, he's at the edge of clipping right there, guys. So let me know if that's good or not. I don't want him to clip. So.
Or I could just raise my voice a little bit.
You sound great for me. But it's coming through Discord, and you know
right.
how that is.
I trust you.
You sound great on my end. Discord.
Awesome.
OBS is showing you as good and strong, so let us know, guys. Z King, Greenhorn, we pop some names up here real quick. What's going on, PhatPastor and Jesse P? We're about to let y'all know what we know, at least, which might not be much. Z King, local chapter, Tennessee chapter coordinator, organizer in the area. Mike's doing a lot better. Scott Dozer's doing a lot better. So, the man, the myth, the leg end.
Nice.
The leg end.
You know, I'm a dad now, so I got to stack all those dad jokes. I got to just write them all down.
Yep. Yeah. It's part of the code. It's part of the code.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the jokes that I used to have. No, when I had kids, I had 2 girls, and no, I had to find better things to do. We got DDTFPV in the house.
Oh, what up, DDT?
Welcome.
What's going on? This is a local Colorado pilot.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. You might know him from any of the races he's ever been at because he screams his name before every battery.
That's a way to get your name out there, I guess. Yeah.
As in, like, DDT.
We herald.
Almost like a fanfare.
Yeah. Yeah, DTD. Oh, like the ESC, right?
Like an ESC tone.
That's right. We actually hired a herald for our church. We just drop him off in the corner of different cities, and he stands there and yells at people. No, I'm joking. I'm lying. We didn't do anything like that, but it'd be fun if we did. So
do it. You can hire me. I'll do it.
Yeah, or DDT. Yeah.
Perfect.
Harble's FPV. Send it. Yes, we're gonna stream send it tonight. Well, I got some question. Stream send it. That's right. I've got some questions. Am I frozen up? I think we're froze up. What's going on? We're not frozen up on Discord, but we may be frozen up on. Come on. Display capture. Okay. Let me switch to a different scene and come back and see. Alright. We're still locked up. What's going on, OBS? I did not update, guys. No, don't look like they can hear you. I think the OBS screen has just... Boom. Let's do that. This one's moving. I can use another one. Okay. Alright. Say something, Jesse. See if that works. We got audio for it. No, that one's not working. I don't know why the other one. Let me turn it off, turn it back on. Alright. We're still locked up. What? We got it. We'll get it to work. We'll get it to work. So, yeah. Good now. Great Scott. Okay. Yeah, but I don't know if we got your voice right now. Let me add an audio source. Give me 1 second. This is streaming, guys. I mean, I know there's pros at it that are a lot better at it than I am, but yes. Yeah, I don't think you do. Hang on. Yeah. I don't know if they can hear you. June Loco. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Are you guys hearing Jesse fine? I hear him fine. Phil. I don't think they are. At least Discord. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hi, Phil. Oh, me. Why is Discord's not locked up now? We should be able to hear you. Give it a try, Jesse. This is... Wait, but I don't need... Okay. Let me see this one. Yeah, we're still froze up on that one. Sure enough, man. I don't know why. That one screen's still just locked up. Oh, come on. I'm gonna have to delete this scene and load it again. Give me just a second, guys. So Discord's working. I'm gonna delete Screen Spectra and I'm gonna load it back again. Give me a second. Wow. Oh yeah. No, it's still locked up. It's still locked up. Alright. Why not to make a new one? Alright. You see, we got you here, but I don't think I have your audio here. Do we have it? Speak again, is it? Yeah. Well, we got your audio. I mean, your video here, but the audio sucks. All right. Let me try one more thing. No, I'm gonna try more than one more thing. No, I'm gonna get it.
We're chilling.
Pull, pull, pull,
Let's see, what should I do that's visually pleasing?
capture. uh,
Be proud. I'm your monkey. I should be dancing right now. Let's see.
there we go. That's supposed to work. Can we hear you now, Jesse?
Check 1 2. Testing. Check. Test
Yes.
and check 1
Yeah,
2.
yes, yes. We got you now. We got you now. I will worry about cropping us in. Wow. Sorry, guys. I have no idea. I have no idea what it was.
That was totally my fault, everybody.
No, no, it was not.
100% my fault, and I take all the blame. And if it goes well, I'll take all the credit too.
Well, there you go. You could take the credit. I'll give you the credit for anything good that happens. It's man, I've not mastered OBS. I don't know if there is a mastery to be had.
There's no mastery to be had. This is just a part of it. It's part of the game show. So Phil, when I said that I was supposed to be your dancing monkey, was that you lip reading, or did audio come back in time for that moment?
Maybe I was moving in between things just enough. Let me see if I can. Ooh. Here.
All right, I need to move my chat so it's easier to see.
Yeah. I've got to work on this here too, so. It's not going to stop us. We're going to get you guys a good stream tonight.
Yeah, so it's time for me to hit up the chat
There
for
we
all
go.
those hard questions, you guys.
All right, there we
If you've
go.
got the kind of questions that you would never have the guts to ask me in person, you can ask any question here. Is that okay?
That's good.
Pastor?
That's good. That's good. Fine with
Can
me.
I do that?
That's fine with
I'm
me,
just
brother.
kidding.
Yeah. I mean,
But I am down.
yeah. So let's see. I will watch it, and I've got feature chat cut on. I'm not cutting the regular chat. Let me make sure feature chat's working. Yep, there it is at the bottom.
We're good.
We're good. OBS is a finicky beast. It is. It is. And you know, I used to be real tech savvy. Now I'm just savvy. So, I'll get into some things. When, of course, most people know your history and things, and if not, I'm not going to rehash. I'm not going to have Jesse rehash a lot of things that he went over. If you want a good detail of some of the past things that Jesse used to be involved with, Heads had him in the loop, and that was. I think it's a couple times you've been on there, isn't it?
I've done two in the loops. Those are big long ones, and the thing that's interesting about in the loops is over on the Infinity Loops channel, they don't care about FPV at all. He wants to ask questions about who you are, sort of prior and before FPV,
Yeah.
which is kind of an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and I'm going to ask some of those questions that some of the things. Now, if you go back and watch, no spoilers here, Jesse is, from my understanding, you've been a hostel manager, correct? You've worked as a day laborer. You've traveled most of the United States, either on foot or on train or hitchhiking, and you've traveled a lot of Europe. And I think it was in Europe that you was a hostel manager for a while, correct? That's like a hotel.
I did that in the United States too. Yeah, like a hotel for bunk beds. Yeah.
Yeah, and so during that time, were you a tech savvy kind of person?
Techie, I don't think any of my friends would have called me a techie. I had tech, I was not one of the early smartphone guys, but I got one eventually, just like everybody, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I was particularly techie. I had a handheld recorder because I made that podcast, so
Hmm.
I felt pretty fancy with that tech. I had a digital camera. I felt pretty fancy with that tech.
Right.
I don't think I was particularly techie. Someone told me that I think there's four kinds of people in 2015 that got into drones. Somebody with too much money, somebody who loves to tinker, somebody who loves to I remember the third one, but the fourth one was the gamer. The guy who didn't want to do anything except the actual flying part and
Hmm.
crashing part. And I always put myself in that category. I think a lot of people are there. And nowadays it's easier to join the hobby from that position because there's so much less building and tinkering that you have to do now.
Yeah.
Tuning, you don't even have to tune anymore.
Yeah. And in between my questions, I'll pick some in the chat if you see something there,
Yeah,
Jesse.
I'm writing some of them down too. So
Yeah.
if you get skipped, I'll try to come back. I love to
Yeah.
respect the chat. You got a great
Yeah.
chat around here.
Yeah. When are pinch cams going to be restocked?
They were supposed to actually arrive here today, and they didn't. And this is a nice little leak. I'll just leak it right here. Pinch cams are actually improved. The batch that's arriving right now is going to be lighter than any other batch of pinch cams that has ever existed. It's already the lightest camera. It's not going to be significant. It's not going to be the kind of thing where you want to replace old pinch cams. But it's going to be a tiny, tiny bit lighter. So I was happy to make. It's not like I'm going to call it a V2 or V3 or whatever. But yeah, pinch cams were supposed to get in today. Gigantic batch of them. There's lots of people waiting, and I'm really sorry to have run out this time of year. But the good news is, lots showing up. The gigantic batch showing up probably tomorrow. It may show up during this broadcast. The DHL delivers late at night, and there's plenty of time before all 5 of the big races this year, including Whooptopia, which is just around the corner.
Right. Some questions real quick. How big's your hat size, and what's your favorite color?
Favorite color blue. Hat size. I've always worn adjustable hats, so I don't know. I thought about looking it up. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
know. Why are you
Yes.
asking?
See, I have a fat head. I can just tell you.
I've always been told I had a big head. When I was I was a theater performer in high school, and I had the biggest head when they measured me for costume. At that time, it was 24 inches around. So do the math. What is that? 7 or 8 something?
Yeah, I went to Lids about 20 years ago to get a custom Tennessee Titans hat,
Nice.
and they only had like 3 or 4 hats in the store that was big enough for my head. So
He says he's just being a dork. Hat size is not important. What's up, myopic? Thanks for swinging by.
yeah, yeah. June Loco says, "Do you fly that whoop that sucks?"
Yeah, I mean, I fly I don't know what you mean, but yes, I have plenty of whoops that suck. So a lot of the whoops I fly. Here's one. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah,
It's got tons of dangly LEDs out there. The Lux camera. It's got the old split board. It's
that's the
I
whiskers,
fly
isn't it?
lots of quads that don't fly well. This is meant to like please the masses. Hold on, maybe I can even plug it in. Check this out. This is what it looks like. Just do that. Ooh. And these usually, they get all spread out. But yeah, this is a really fun one to. Yeah, I fly lots of quads that suck, including this one. But sometimes quads that suck are even more fun. I'm sure that's not what you meant.
Yeah. I think there's kind of a culture around hostels, right? More in the U.S. than I think they're kind of a norm overseas, but it's kind of you know you don't see them very much here in the U.S.
Yeah, there's only a couple. I got to manage a hostel in Minneapolis called the Minneapolis International Hostel. It was in 2006. And if for those of you in the chat, if anybody's ever done any European like backpacking, yeah, it's a lot of hostels. Otherwise, you're gonna go. You can stay in a hostel for a fraction of the price of a hotel. And yeah, like I said, if you don't know, it's just a bunk bed in a room. It's just a really cheap hotel. And I love hostels because I made a ton of friends, and it really taught me a lot about being social. And when I came back to the United States, I was a part of the management for a hostel in Stirling, Scotland, called the Willie Wallace. It still exists over there. It's an amazing place. If you ever go through Stirling, Scotland, definitely stay there. But then when I got back to the United States, I just really wanted more of that culture. So yeah, I got into a job in Minneapolis, working at a hostel there, and that's great because there's so few hostels in the United States. Anytime there's actually a legit one, people that are traveling from overseas stay there.
Right.
So if you wanted to, you want to look for all of the lone travelers in a city like Minneapolis, they're all going to go at night to the only hostel around. And yeah, it's an awesome place to make friends.
Yeah. Great Scott says you remind him of Willy Wonka. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm assuming you'll take that
Thanks.
as a compliment.
Yeah, somebody used to call me the Willy Wonka of drones.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
It's a compliment. But then I got into, if you ever look up the character of Willy Wonka, he's not as likable outside of the chocolate factory. There's other books where his insanity plays a way bigger role.
Right. Yeah, the stuff we
But I
see
do
on
love that
TV
character.
is very different sometimes than the books.
Yeah, he's like disturbing and like wildly inappropriate sometimes, I think. But I guess I can be like that too. Whatever the people want.
Right, right.
Just kidding.
As long as the chocolate's good. As long as the whoops are good.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Z King says you're the skater that got old and tired of breaking bones. Now you break
Take
quads.
that. There's a ton of skaters that got old in FPV. That's one of the things that depends what you mean by skaters that got old, but just grown-up children. Excuse me. Grown-up children that get stuck in a if your job is fun or related to toys or a hobby, it could happen.
Yeah. I'm just throwing up some of the comments here that trying to catch up with it. Question for Jesse,
Nice.
Philiblaster. Why didn't pusher whoops have more success? I've actually heard that. People have talked about making them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the argument for pusher, first of all, in some places, in some circles, pusher props are actually happening, especially for TinyWhoop. It makes a little bit more sense in the ducted world, but I don't really know the answer to that question. I will say that if you look up a really amazing guy and a great pilot from Germany named Spezzy Lover, he's a really old school member of the international TinyWhoop community, and he actually sells frames, and I tried to bring him into the store at one point, but he sells these really cool pusher setups that involve, I think it's a modified frame, maybe a piece of carbon fiber, and a few 3D printed pieces. And he's got a really cool and really competitive build, but I think he's mostly focused on 35 millimeter props as opposed to 31. But yeah, pusher, right? So the argument for pusher props is you don't really care how clean the air is going into the prop. The most important thing is how clean the air is going out of the prop. So why would we put struts below the prop wash as opposed to above it, where you can suck all kinds of dirty air without as much consequence? That's the argument as it was put to me by a fluid dynamics guy. And I just wish I had a better answer for you, Phil. I don't know. Are you flying a pusher? There's a couple guys in Colorado that fly pushers. It's not like it's dead. But Scott's building the crown frame pusher. That's cool.
Yeah. But if you land in carpet, then you might not be able to get back up. So
yeah, there is that. Yeah.
You got to make sure where you take off and land is a very smooth surface.
Yeah, it pretty much has to be flat. If you're in grass, carpet, rocks, gravel, that's harder with the pusher.
Yeah, they said that I'm echoing.
Maybe that's the big reason.
I don't know. Am I okay? Maybe I'm not echoing now. So let me know if that's any better. So I just started echoing. So yep, just started it. So maybe I finished it. Someone should do a galaxy whoop with planets.
Like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's an educational TinyWhoop. A lot of people use whoops for education.
Yeah. Yes.
About the solar system.
Oh, I was going to ask a question in between. Oh, I did. I did. Let me just push enter. I did. Wait.
You
Yeah.
hooked
Yep.
me up with Micromotor Warehouse?
Yes, I want to have Benedict on. I would love to
Yeah, I
have him
know.
on the channel.
Does your audience know who Benedict is?
Uh,
I bet a lot of you guys do. But just in case you don't, Benedict was the owner and creator of Micromotor Warehouse, which was on the one hand a place in Australia that you could get where you could get supplied with really hard to find what would become TinyWhoop parts. Micro drone accessories and building parts couldn't get anywhere pretty much except Micromotor Warehouse. And Benedict put that together. He had a really unique way of interacting with his audience that encouraged hardcore engineers. He just like would draw engineers to him, and really charismatic and incredible guy, family man. I think he was originally from Austria. He's got like a really thick accent, but he moved down to beautiful paradise in the jungles of Australia, and yeah, had a beautiful life for a long time. Ran Micromotor Warehouse. Can I get you hooked up with him? Last time I sent him a message, he responds, so I know he's still out there somewhere. I
and
love the guy. I
and
still
happens,
consider him a sponsored pilot.
yeah, and happens to have the coolest voice I think I've ever heard.
Yeah,
And
he does.
it's
You about to do your impression of him?
I'm resisting. I'm resisting. It's like Micromotor Warehouse. So it's
Yeah,
like
because you're really good at it.
I love him. For years, and when he was still active, I would always log into the Tiny Whoop races and be like, Jesse, you've got to have him come call a race with you. You just got to do it. It would
Yeah.
be so great. Uh, and
Yeah, that's still my dream. I've never met him in person. We got really close once. I was supposed to fly to Australia for micromotor or micro drone championships that they held over there. This is pre-pandemic. It didn't work out, and I said next year, and then the next year didn't work out, and it's kind of been off the books for a minute. But I'm sure that I'll meet him.
the last time that I saw him was around the time of the lunchbox, and I don't know if he was supporting that or what. I know that it kind of went, the whole lunchbox thing kind of went south, you know, on a lot of people. So,
And everybody, every single person who's involved.
yeah,
And I got hit really hard by it, but not nearly as hard as some of these other people.
right.
No. But yeah, he put out a video that was hilarious about his dull lunchbox V2, and I saw it, and he was the first one to really stand up and say this whole thing is wrong. This whole thing is fishy. And he did it in the funniest way, and I was just laughing so hard at his critique video. At the time, Lunchbox was a friend of mine.
Hmm.
I didn't realize what he was doing at that time. He was a pilot that I sponsored, and I supported him in a lot of different ways. I promoted his videos and his projects. I partnered with him on the Dull Lunchbox V2, and inadvertently with his I would never call what he did a scam, but let's just say whether it was on purpose or by accident, some parts on purpose, some parts by accident. At the end of the day, a whole bunch of people lost money to him.
Hmm.
And I think he ended up losing money too, frankly. I think it was just like a little bit of poor planning and maybe a pretty irresponsible way
Right.
to handle that situation. But yeah, Benedict had a hilarious video critiquing the lunchbox and just kept pointing out different aspects of it and being like, this part is here. Here's this part. This is so stupid. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Right.
Let's move on to this part. Look at this ridiculous choice. This is
Yeah.
so dumb. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think in that
And
one, didn't he say this will catch fire? It's like you got to fix it. So, I don't know if that was in that one, but he had a lot to say about it. Let me read this one. This one's from Tradies. Skip from 533 says, "What do you like better, a tiny whoop that's efficient for longer race laps, or the fastest for crazy speed around the track?"
You know, if it's it really depends. But if you're asking me what my favorite aircraft to fly is, yeah, it's the bottle rocket. It's the short life and high speed and low weight. But everybody knows I fly heavy aircraft too. I was just showing off this heavy thing, and a lot of my aircraft are really big and heavy. I'm almost all HDzero now, unless I'm competing or something. And yeah, I love I love flying around people, kids, animals. I love doing sort of like observation or recon flights. None of that needs extremely high power to weight ratio. We don't have to be able to pull out of a dive within 2 feet for most of the flights we do. But I'm also the kind of pilot that has a blast playing with extremely high power to weight ratio and being ultralight. I'll never forget the first time I flew an ultralight whoop. It was just a couple years ago. My buddy Blue Jay built one and let me fly it, and it was just so awesome. It just felt like so much control over the air I was pushing, and that's what I love about it. But you don't have to have ultralight, extremely, the racing quad you're talking about, Skip. I love it, but I would say you know, being powerful is one of my favorite parts of being a pilot. But it's not my favorite part. Interacting with people, animals, especially kids, exploring a tree or something in nature. That's bigger than like flippy floppies, but I love the flippy floppies too.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question.
I just got these today, Jesse.
Oh, nice. Oh my God. That is so much longer than I thought. Okay, let me see that in a whoop, please. With it plugged in. It's one thing to shove it in the slot. I love this battery, by the way. This battery's been catching a little flack, but this is my kind of pack right here.
Yeah. Because
so much
Jesse,
longer in person.
Yeah, and
just looking at the live stream.
Yeah, and just shove it in there. Yeah, and
all the way, and then plug it in. Okay, I want to see it. Oh my God. Okay, how far back can it scoot? Can it scoot a couple mils back?
Well, if I had a longer,
pretty much,
if I had a longer, you're gonna have to have a longer pigtail on it.
You need a long pigtail and probably a 180. I mean, at that point, you're just dangling so much weight out front. That's gonna mess with your PID tuning on your pitch access. But it does mean
you could center it, but you're
even
talking...
if you were like that, you're swinging so much weight. No matter what, you're swinging the same amount of weight out away from CG. Like, that's really hard to push around out there. But it has a place, and people keep bringing this up to me. This battery, I almost feel like Jeff made it for guys just like me. Because we were just talking about how there's all these different kinds of TinyWhoop flight, like the hardcore air pushers out there, but also the tooling around. And I submit to you that most TinyWhoop flight is actually not freestyling or racing, but it is tooling around in people's houses and yards, and people enjoying flying wherever they can and and a lot of them, flying just by themselves and getting to know their aircraft by themselves. Those guys are not competitive racers or competitive freestylers. They're tooling around, and that's a pretty awesome tooling around battery, I would guess. I mean, I know it's heavy.
Yeah.
Have you weighed yours?
Battery to battery, I'm doing it now. I don't want to switch to my desk view because I don't have audio for you. 11.4 for for Gigantor, and I don't know what they're naming it, but it's 7.8. So
all right.
For the regular
7.8, 260 or something.
It's 7.8 is it's their version that's wait, let me tear it again.
Yeah, that might be half a gram off.
7.1. 7.1. That's what it's saying now, and 11.7.
A Bagzilla. It might be, if you're looking, the thing is, that battery, what is it? What's the capacity?
It's a
465?
465. I don't know if you can read it or not because of my
465. So,
yep.
Here's the thing that's weird about that battery. It's meant to fit in a 65 millimeter frame, obviously,
Right.
If you're going to a 75 millimeter frame, you've got much better form factor batteries with a higher discharge rating. That's the other real drawback of having long stick-shaped batteries is it's the best way to reduce discharge rates. So your C rating on that battery for the first like couple seconds of the battery, I'm just going to go out on a limb and predict for the first bit, there's a normal discharge rate. But once you're lower on the pack, you just can't pull milliamps out of that thing as fast as you need to. I would guess. I haven't flown it. I'm the world's biggest fan of that battery, so I'm not going to talk any trash on it because I'm a big defender of that crazy long battery. I'm the guy that I think should own a bunch of those for the kind of flights I do. You know, we just did a flight the other day in custom FPV, who was an intern here until just recently. On his last day, we went out and he flew this unbelievable long range flight. And you know, that's the kind of adventure that battery can open up even more. You know, there's a place for that battery. Sure, it adds weight, reduces your power to weight, and messes with your pitch axis for sure.
Right.
But it definitely opens other doors. So congratulations to Weebleed. Anybody who creates, you know, that's the thing. We have a market here for TinyWhoop, but it's not the world's biggest market. You don't expect to see batteries like that in this market because sometimes it's not like the smartest move in the world to create something like that. I create a bunch of products that are made for niche people too. I got a whole section of my store that is just like costumes.
Yeah.
And crazy LEDs. I saw you were flying some of my crazy LEDs
Yeah.
too, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've
That's for people. That's like acting like the market is gigantic and we're catering to these individual little niches. That's how I view the 465 is catering to a niche, and I'm a member of that niche. So I want that flight time. I want to coast. I want to cruise. I want to weave ankles. I'm not trying to catch a dive with a pack like that. I'm just on a leisurely stroll. So yeah, I love it.
June Loco wants to know what's your thoughts on 40K KV motors. Will there be higher motors made?
Yeah, I made
think
before the 40K came out, I made every kind of motor you can imagine. I made, you know, I was the first one to really make high kV motors. So I initially wanted to really push the boundaries. At first, it was like the motor manufacturers refused to give me the batteries I wanted. Excuse me, just a second.
Bless you.
First, they refused to give me these low winding high kV motors. Then they're like, okay. The first time I got really high kV motors, I went to my manufacturer and I was like, hey, I need such and such kV on such and such size. And they're like, no, Jesse, you've pushed it too far. We will go no farther. We will not make one that high. You're just going to have too many returns because they're going to they're going to burn up. They're going to get too hot. Heat's an issue. And I'm like, okay. Then I placed a giant motor order. Like, you know, when I place motor orders, it's like almost always the most money I've ever spent in a single day of my life. It always scares the heck out of me, you know. I placed a giant order with this company, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, I need to change one after I paid the money, so they're holding my cash." I said, "I need to change one aspect. I need to change the kV on that motor to such and such kV." I think at that time something like 30,000. Nobody had ever done 30,000. They were rejecting me. And they didn't notice that I had requested a KV that they had already told me was out of bounds. And it just got pushed through. And somehow I wound up with it. And then people wanted more and more and more. So the bottom line is I tested it all. I tested 10,000 KV 702s all the way up to 60,000 KV 702s. I've got you know, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60,000 kV, and I have sets of them. I'll bring one around to the races this season if you guys want to try it. But like just like you're kind of guessing, there's a limit. Like the internal traces on the board aren't meant to push that much power, and it would be stupid if they were, because batteries, like I was just talking about, the form factor of the stick pack that's common in TinyWhoop, like this one. this is a bad discharge overall battery, you know. So like, yeah, we switched to folded cell. That doubled the discharge. Now it's like totally fine. We don't need anything else. But it comes to pulling, if you put four 60,000 kV motors on a quad, you do not get a higher top speed. All you do at that stage is lose resolution between what will be the max power of that quad and zero, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk trash on any product on this show or on any show. But yeah, there's a limit, and we got to that limit through advanced testing with some of the best engineers I've come across in my career. And I sell high kV motors. I pioneered the high kV motor, and I'm proud of that. And there's a limit to how far I'm going to go because it's just selling hype at some point. You're not actually selling performance anymore. You're just selling hype. And
Now,
the line is so gray, and you know it's not like a parabola like this where all of a sudden you get to one point and it just drops off. It's a big wide gray line. So where you are in that is not going to make a great difference. And maybe it's true that where suppose the limit is such and such kV where you're just not getting any more power for the, or excuse me, thrust for the capacity you're dumping into those motors, you're still fine. You know, you still could fly that and get hyped, you know, even if a double blind test versus something 20,000 kV slower wouldn't prove any results. So that doesn't mean none of those motors are bad. There's nothing out there that is just like heinous. But yeah, there's a limit. So it's a really good question. Never really
let me.
gotten to talk.
Here's a question I have for you, and it'll add to all of this. Uh, as of I/O last year, Jesse officially became a member of Team PhatWhoop when I donned him with a button because up until the AIOs, these were my main racers with LEDs on them. And
Nice.
but what I learned is I believe these have the 32,000 kV motors on them
Nice.
from you guys, and it's all about thrust to weight ratio, correct? So if
Yeah.
I increase the weight, but I increase the thrust, if it's heavier, wouldn't you still make it to that same peak that somebody else would? Is just when you let off the throttle, it drops faster, correct? Because if
You're
I
mostly right. The way I think about it is technically the peak will be a little bit lower.
mhm,
It's probably not significant. The speed that it takes for you to get there is the biggest difference.
mhm,
And like you know, I fly fat whoops. You know,
mhm,
I fly weird, big, tall, awkward LEDs, and I love it. And I just showed you a double stack whoop a lot like that, except
right,
it has heavier motors on it.
mhm,
Um, High KV 702 should probably be paired with a lighter build. Heavier builds, if that's what you're talking about, might prefer an 802. And it
yeah,
doesn't even have to be a massive KV 802. And if you want to, excuse me, I'm just getting my voice back. I don't know if you can
mhm,
tell. If you want to test a bigger set of motors at such and such kV, I'd be happy to lend you a set because it's a really good thing to feel out and learn to understand yourself. I highly recommend
yeah.
it.
Because I've had like six of these. Now, two of them so far have become 75 UWLs, and that's lengthening the motors and all of them. But for me, I'm not that fast anyway. On a 19,000 kV motor, like the OG Mobula 6, I was never full throttle all the time
Yeah,
anyway.
I know what you mean.
So
I know
so
what you mean.
I'm just not that good. So I like and I had 533 build me one of those super lights, and I got it and I flew it and I didn't like it because it was too floaty.
Yeah.
It was too floaty
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. You can't go down sometimes.
Right.
The other thing to keep in mind that you should bring up in a discussion like this is a lot of people when they talk about power, they're not talking about max thrust. They are talking about transient response. And to have the sort of pop when you pop, and move really fast. If your motor can spin up fast, because it's got like extremely high transient response, and you've got a light enough quad that it can respond to that fast spinning up motor. That's what a lot of people call power in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people mistake that for maximum thrust or something. And so it's just more complicated than that. And that's why you have all these different styles of flight. That's why there's, I have the biggest selection of motors on the planet, and I rationalize every single one of them because there is a right build for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got them in my fleet. I think that different sizes and different speeds have their place in different niches. Niche?
Right. Atreides says he and Ciotti want a 0602 32,000. Nowhere to be found.
Well, I mean, I can't speak to that too much, but what I will say to you, my friend, is that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you don't want that motor. So that's
Okay.
all
That's all he can say.
I can't talk to that too much, but just gonna say that I don't think you actually want that motor.
Now, to a serious question, Phil said, should all brushed whoops become one-way whoops? Also, side question, as a lover of nature, how do you feel promoting one-way whooping?
You got me. That's a gotcha question a little bit because there's all okay. So what was the first question?
Should all? I'll answer my question on
Okay,
it.
yeah. So
I don't think all
brushes.
brush whoops, because my first brushed whoop, besides the Inductrix, was a built TinyWhoop Racer that I've already told my wife I'm not going to sell it. I had Jesse sign the whoops on it. I mean, I believe I could fly, if it was slow, up the southbound end of a northbound goose with that Spectrum board. It was just so tight in angle.
That was really special. And it was part of that was because the guy I don't want to go off too much because I want to address the question, but the guy that made that flight controller did something really special that he didn't even understand. And what he provided on the Inductrix flight controller, which was pretty much copied onto the Inductrix FPV flight controller, was a tune that did not smooth out your angle mode. He was dedicated. I actually got to talk to him, and he didn't understand why his board was so valuable when I spoke to him. And the value of that board was this: it's completely independent of Betaflight. So it was not an innate tune. It was created as a base model for like a giant quad with way higher KV motors, and then adapted to a TinyWhoop. That's like the story of Betaflight, Clean Flight, and some other flight. What would it be called? Software.
Silverware.
But, the Inductrix and Inductrix FPV flight controllers were made for TinyWhoop, and they were built from the ground up without an original sort of framework to build off of. The way most of what we fly now is built off of existing frameworks that were built before TinyWhoop was even an idea. And it wasn't just that, but the Inductrix FPV and the Inductrix flight controller had a angle mode that was just unbelievably controllable and intuitive to the human brain. It nowadays, if you fly a lot of stock angle mode settings, you notice you move your stick and the quad's like, oh, and then you like let go of the stick. You like let go of the stick and it goes, brrr, but the quad's like, oh, easing back into it. And it's like it's a discussion that I have with the manufacturers I work with, because they want people to have their first flight to be just smooth and feel really great, even if they're nervous and shaking. But with the Inductrix flight controller, if you were leaning to the side and you let off the stick, it mirrored the stick. It would be like, brrr, you know what I mean? It reached a deep enough angle. You could adjust any transmitter to make it reach a little deeper angle, which changed my life. And it would just get there very fast. And then people discovered so it had what people would call high angle mode. I think it's called power, high angle power. But it worked so well with the tune that was built for a quad whose attitude was meant to exactly match the stick. And nowadays, that's just not how people do it, and it's not how most newbies end up having a great experience. But I loved it because you could snap, you could like fishtail and stop and do a hover and do more controlled maneuvers in angle mode. I just love that. So sorry if I'm going off. Try to answer the question. So what was the question?
First,
Did I even answer it?
First, should all
Oh.
brushed whoops become a one-way whoop?
My opinion, no. I love the feel of the old school TinyWhoop Racer. I love that flight controller, and that's a big reason why the answer for me is no. I've got a gigantic wall of brushed aircraft that I built, and when I did, I knew I would keep them forever. They're awesome. But it's almost like, actually somebody today, I have a few Inductrix FPV flight controllers left. I think I've got like maybe 35 of them or something. And when they went extinct and disappeared everywhere, I actually raised the price because I wanted them to last longer. And now I sell them for, I think, I'm not trying to talk about my store, but I sell them for $55. And for the first time in over a year, somebody bought one today. And I just thought, man, somebody out there's got an old DSM 2 or X receiver or transmitter.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a set of brush motors, and they're going to put together some old school or they're going to revive an old aircraft or something.
Mm-hmm.
It is so cool. So for the most part, brushed is nobody's doing brushed anymore.
Right.
If you are doing brush, talk to me because I got a crazy amount of brush motors. I'll throw some brushed motors at you. I've purchased a lot of those things. But nobody's really using them anymore. And just to move on to the one-way whoop question, there's all kinds of one-way whoops. One time, a lot of one-way whoops are not litter. Some one-way whoops do create litter, particularly, and worst of all, battery litter. And nobody agrees with that. And as fun as it is to do something risky with an old aircraft, I'm never gonna go to a podcast and be like, "Hey, it's cool to throw batteries into nature or into an animal's stomach or whatever."
Now, if a hawk takes it, that's his decision. It made it the decision. Come on.
Lots of hawks have taken them. Not just hawks. Prey birds will take it too. In Australia, one of the first times a whoop was taken by a bird was by a kookaburra. Technically, it's a predator, but it's not like a hawk or eagle. This is a bird about this big, and its wings are about this big. Yeah, and that just took it and left. Falcons take them, hawks take them, eagles take them. They're the ones that own the sky.
Brundlefly says on that end, it said, one man's one-way whoop is another man's newfound obsession. So, yeah.
Could be.
If someone finds
Could be.
it.
I would like to think that has happened to a couple of my lost aircraft.
Right. So let me let's see if we've got any. I don't think we have. I don't think we have any pressing questions now. Yep, here comes one. Says, Jesse, I know you're a busy guy. We all love your invitation. But what's the new things?
What's the new hotness?
Oh yeah, new products, new ideas.
There actually is lots of new stuff. Yeah, this is 2025 is going to be my favorite year for TinyWhoop by far. And all of that, we're hardcore. It's January 2nd, ladies and gentlemen. It's indoor season no matter what part of the world you're in. Okay, most places are now converted to indoor season. Not that that's as much of a thing anymore, but this is where it all starts coming out. And I am really excited. There's some big drops coming to my store soon. And I mentioned one of them, the very slightly improved pinch, which is arriving on my doorstep any day after several delays. That'll be here soon. I don't think it would be smart for me to leak some of my favorite stuff, but I know I've got some stuff for you. Give me just a minute. Oh, the blinders just came back. If you guys know, I sell every kind of LED you can think of, but we just brought the blinders back. Those have been a crazy popular product because they just, you know, put out so much light. It's pretty much a headlight for your TinyWhoop. You can fly in pitch black, and that's really fun. I don't know if anybody in the chat has ever had this experience, but put headlights or blinders on your TinyWhoop and go into a tree's canopy in total darkness with nothing there, and what you end up with is like you can see maybe 8 feet in front of you. So everything emerges out of the darkness as you're in flight, and you really when you can see, but only in a dome that feels like it's 8 feet, you really do lose sense of the ground, and it becomes a really, really fun time. Let's see, what else can I spill the beans about? We just released hats. Man, the fun stuff. I just it's just a bit bad timing.
Yeah.
Wish I could give you more, Skip.
Yeah. Don't release anything you're not supposed to. Double A says, any plans for Whoop Tent IO 25? Are we gonna offset the track?
Double A, what's up, dude? I didn't see you come in. Hope you're doing good.
He's sneaky like
The
that.
meeting, you probably know this as well as I do, but the meeting is like this week, and don't have a date on it. But I understand there's going to be some changes to IO this year, and I don't know what the deal is. I mean, Myopic's in the chat. IO is still a question mark. West Coast Throwdown this year, I've got to go. I'm so ashamed that I've never been to West Coast Throwdown. It's obviously one of the most culturally important events of the year. So I am going this year, and that is going to be a blast. If anybody's anywhere near the West Coast, but I'm also going to IO, and I'll give you guys. Yeah, I just don't have the information yet. I'm excited to be a part of the planning team for IO, and the meeting is something like within a week. It's supposed to be the first week of the year, so we'll see. Maybe you know more than I do. Double A, can you leak anything in the chat?
Yeah. I don't think the meeting's even happened yet, right?
No, well, there's been some stuff, but not the early planning meetings.
Yeah.
Phil knows.
Phil says there will be
I
changes
use the
because
main stage. Okay, I didn't know if that was public yet. Thank you, Phil. So there's some hardcore changes to the what used to be the main stage area. The runway there is now it's always been delicate, but the runway there is even more delicate due to some recent changes. Fill in the blanks. Fill a blasta in the blanks, please. It looks like they've done some incredible work to create a new kind of runway out in what used to be the main stage area, meaning things are going to get shuffled up, and we don't know what that means, but I'm sure it'll be good news in the end.
Bitterroot asked, when are 2S 300 milliamps coming back?
They're in production now, but they're more than 2 weeks away right now. So I'm sorry, that is an awesome battery, and it's crazy because I had it for so long. When I developed the 2S, the BT 3.0, 2S 300, there'd never been a battery like that, and I was like, this is going to change everything. This could be big. This could be as big as the other battery, It got big right, or it's ramping up right when I am out of it, and I apologize. We do have lots of the 450s, which are just a little bit bigger, but yeah, the 300s, so much juice packed into that little, and it's so light. It's by far the lightest 2S 300 out there. Awesome form factor, and without the balance cable, it just feels so light. That's what you want if you're doing
Thank you,
2S.
McFlies, for the $20 super chat. It says, when is Jessie or TinyWhoop coming into Tennessee to race? You came a few years back, didn't you?
Oh yeah, a couple of times. And you mentioned my traveler days from a long time ago, and that's when Tennessee got a really, really special place in my heart. I made the trek to Knoxville area many times, and I've got a lot of friends over there that I still consider family, and inside and outside of the FPV community. I love it dearly. I love Nashville. I love Knoxville. I love Chattanooga. A big piece of my heart's always going to be down there, especially in the springtime. I just can't get enough. I also love Asheville. So yeah, there's like mumbles about it. I don't know how much we can say, but I really want to come. Let's just say I really, really want to come to Tennessee again. I love Tennessee. Used to go back when it was Mr. Moon was hosting big events over there. Have you guys ever flown with? I believe his first two names are Matthew Melvin Moon. Could be wrong. I can't remember right now. But yeah,
And we
Moon's
want,
down there, and he threw
yeah,
threw amazing events.
and we want Jesse to come to Tennessee. So let's
What is Jesse?
so maybe we can make that happen sometime. Mary Outland, a member of the channel, says, "Is there going to be Whooptopia this year?" I'll let you answer that,
Oh
Jesse.
yeah,
Yeah, it's right
yeah,
around the
yeah.
corner
I'm
too, right?
really. Yeah, no, it's like 2 weeks away. Whooptopia happening in Phoenix, Arizona, the biggest tiny whoop race, the Super Bowl of all tiny whoop races, and I am just dancing with excitement to get there. Um, I mean, this is Whooptopia 7. For those of you that don't know, Whooptopia is hardcore, old school, gigantic. Uh, do I still have you? Oh, okay,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
You were holding really still, by the way. Anyway,
I'm trying to
I,
read.
I was like, you like that trick where you pretend you lost a connection by holding still. That's what you were just
Yeah.
doing to me. Utopia is going into its 7th year. Just to set the stage, year number 1, AK makes this event based on my friend. I still sponsor the guy. His name's Noodles. He was inspired to create this event. AK pulled it off. Year number 1, AK won it. Year number 2, AK won it. Year number 3, AK won it. Year number 4, T Dog won it. T Dog, who is still the reigning world champion in Tiny Whoop. And then year 4, year 5, T Dog also gets the Whooptopia Turkey, 3 wins in a row, just like AK did. Now we're going into Whooptopia 7, 2025.
Wow.
And it's the big tiebreaker. And it's not just about the story for me. It's not just about the story between AK and T Dog, unbelievable champions in their own right, but there are major other names. For the first time ever, Neon is traveling out of the Northeast, and nobody's ever seen Neon go up against T Dog. Hyper's going to be there. Evan Turner's going to be there. Wild Type's going to be there. Nadium's going to be there. There's never been Whooptopia is the biggest one, but there's never been a Whooptopia with names this big. So if you're not already subscribed to the Perspective Image YouTube channel, great time to do that. That's where all the Whooptopia streams go, and you'll see me. I get to do the nice. I get to do the commentary for Whooptopia again this year, and it is an unbelievable pleasure and honor to get to sit in the what's pretty much the best seat in the house. I'm the world's biggest fan of like drone races, spectating. I'm the biggest spectator of drone race. I'm the guy with the binoculars. I'm the guy that wants the stats. I'm a total nerd about it. And when you sit at the commentator's booth at Whooptopia, you have all the information. You've got the 4-up split screen. It's always there. You've got the live stream. You got the vibe of the room, and you got line of sight view to the actual course as it's happening. So yeah, the Whooptopia. I can't tell you how excited I am. This is going to be the Whooptopia of all Whooptopias, at least so far.
Yeah, and I think Whooptopia does this here. Nordy FPV asked, "Have you ever thought about having heats at official races with more than 4 people with the AIO5?" Oh, he's talking about running
Really good call.
more than 4 pilots at a time. You can do that with HDzero. It
Can.
It's hard with analog.
Yeah, and you know, there's a club in Sweden that runs a race every week, and they do 6 up, and they always send me a video. I got a video last week of 6 tiny whoops flying, and just seeing it is awesome. Six
Yep.
competitive whoops
Yep.
flying together. There's a river in the sky. There's a flock. You know, it
Yep.
looks really cool.
Yeah. He says their
Um,
club is able to get up 8 at once with a decent video for
can't.
everyone using the AIO. So
I'm not surprised.
yeah.
I wonder what channels you're using. Who are we talking? Who's saying this
That's
right now?
Nordy FPV.
Oh, Nordy, nice. Yeah, I'd love to know what channels because the Sweden guys are doing it with 4 race band and 2 on the F band, but they're doing it with both HDzero and analog, and the analog guys are not having a great time. So, yeah, that's kind of the where it's at right now.
Yeah.
The other big, you know, everybody's excited about more quads in the air. A lot of people don't know this, but there's actually, starting about 4 years ago, there's another band on the radio spectrum that's opened up to hobbyists, and nobody's made or used any equipment on this other band. I think it's somewhere in the sixes, around 6 point something and 7 point something. There's an open band. It's open to hobbyists. There's no equipment built for it. A lot of people also have low band, which is super illegal, but also inconsequential. It's pretty much, for our purposes, it feels slightly decriminalized. But it's obviously they would press a lot of charges if you ever get caught. If somebody was driving through your neighborhood and
Well, if you have a
whatever.
ham license, you can, right?
No,
Still
I
can't
don't
broadcast?
know I'm not gonna say yes or no to that.
Yeah,
But
I actually have a ham license, and I know that,
nice.
that you can broadcast on it, but I'm sitting here thinking you would probably have to put a carrier in there with your call sign showing
I don't know.
that you were
But
legally doing it.
what I was gonna
Yeah.
say is, suppose you could get 30 up at a time. Suppose it was like motocross, where you just have as many competitors as you want on the course at a time, and it's just pandemonium, and you know who's probably going to wriggle their way to the front. Right now, drone racing is at a stage where spectators are becoming important, and spectators are going to carry drone racing to a new place very soon. It's one of the reasons I'm so invested in races like Whooptopia. The 6 big races or so that happen every year in the Tiny Whoop world, to me, these are the most important years of those races when you compare it to the future when Tiny Whoop is, Tiny Whoop is not a fad. Tiny Whoop
No.
aircraft is a part of human culture. It's here to stay. Humans are going to fly tiny drone toys around with goggles for fun, for experiencing to get the flight for the rest of humanity. This is how it's going to be. I'm not saying we're always going to use thumbs and sticks, but we're always going to be flying for fun. Now that technology is open, and when you compare the idea of that distant future to where we are today, and the role that these events play, it's just really significant to me. And so, just to circle back to the number of quads in the air, if you could have as many quads in the air as you want, obviously, I want to host that event. I want to go to that event. I want to fly in that event. But I probably don't want to watch 16 screens. I mean, have you guys ever watched 8 screens at a time?
Yeah.
MultiGP is dialing it back to 4. Look at what they did with Champs. I think that's a very smart move to have a big line of sight camera and 4 small feeds. Sorry, I bumped my mic. 4 small feeds on the bottom of the screen. That's genius. Chef's kiss to MultiGP. And we did 16 up at 2015 MultiGP Champs down in Florida. I was there with Chris Thomas and Alex Grieve and a whole clan. We got 16 mini quads in the air at once.
Yeah.
And yeah, some people were like, "Oh, my video is bad." We did right hand and left hand antennas, and we got everybody together for this big test. We had everybody parked over here. The position of the pilots was like the most important thing, so that they could never be far while someone else was close to them. All the pilots flew. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was amazing to witness, but really not practical event wise. Even though you could crank out, maybe for qualifying, I'd be down. Where you're just trying to crank out qualifier packs, and maybe if traffic's not an issue for whatever reason,
Okay.
then I'm down. But for the most part, I really like 4.
Yeah. And
The
something
one
that's,
thing,
go ahead, Jesse.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, please.
The one thing that stood out to me about IO last year is when we got the screen up and Myopic was back behind it running it and all, and we were juggling as much as we could. But when I come out to, I believe it was Marshall FPV, he was calling, and AK was calling the lines. But when they needed some relief, I would come out and do it for a little while, and it was like a small theater. People were packed around that 8x10 screen,
Hmm.
watching everybody's feeds, and that that showed me there that if you make it too much, it's people are not going to follow it. I mean, but they were glued to the screen there, and
Yeah.
so that's a big thing that really stood out to me as not only do we need to have the line of sight feature, but you also, if you've got it right there in the same room, they can look up and then they can look back
Yeah,
at the
that's the
screen.
best.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
yeah,
I love that that dual perspective.
yeah. Well, speaking of the importance, and I want to go into something. Many of you that are longtime watchers or supporters of the channel, you already know this, but uh, I've saved it. I talked to Jesse the other day. TinyWhoop saved radio control for me. I don't know if you can see, but from my ceiling, I have several ultra micro airplanes. I
You got a
haven't.
beast back there.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a beast.
I got the pits and the Waco. That's a B-52 back there. And let's see if I can go far enough
Nice.
to one of my favorites,
Oh yeah, I see it.
which is the A10. I don't know
Awesome.
if you can see it right there. The
Yeah, the
A10.
warthog's up there.
I love that's one of my favorite, and the pits is one of my favorite. And
That's awesome.
about 8 years ago, I guess 7 years ago, um, I sustained. I'm gonna cut the story short, but I sustained a traumatic brain injury that kept me from. I lost the ability to have purposeful hand use in my left hand, and was had a brain injury on the right side, which affected the left side of my body, and then in my mind, um, when you're flying an airplane, if you're, as y'all know, flying line of sight, when you're flying away from you, right is right and left is left. But when you come back to you, left is now right and everything is reversed. So I couldn't fly RC anymore after 20 something years. I've been in RC over 30 years. And of course, with the seizures and everything, I was so angry. And I couldn't fly, so I walked away from it. Walked away from the hobby completely. Sold all the helicopters I had, what few drones that I had, and kept a few of the foamies just as decorations. And a friend of mine, actually Mick Flies, that posted the let me turn this off here. That gave the super chat. Told me to come and fly. He wanted me to fly, and I was like, man, I can't. It's just too much for me. And he's like, no, I insist. Come on. And the old baby hawk, the white one, with the ducks, with the guards around it. You remember the old first baby hawk that had the AIO camera, the
Oh yeah.
the whatever, the F3 board. Well, he flew it, and I just put on a set of Cyclone box goggles, and I noticed that no matter where he flew, he let me turn this. No matter where
Right
he
was
flew,
right, left was left.
yeah, it was simple,
Yeah.
and so I was encouraged for the first time in a long time, and I asked him, I said, can I try? And he's like, well, you better. He was like, he's older than I am and a good friend. And I put on those goggles, and FPV saved the hobby, and it did so much more than that for me. It helped me deal with the problems that I was going through. And at that time, with everything going on, all the doctors and all of that, I didn't have the money for the baby hawk. Um, but I had turned on and was watching, um, I believe it was Nick Burns with the Santa Claus whoop. Somebody mentioned it earlier. You remember the Eachine that had the Lego Santa Claus
Yeah.
on top of it that played music? And I watched that and I was like, I wonder if I could stick a camera on something like that. And I got to looking, and I just found the inductors because all of these are Spectrum. So I
Yep.
had the multi protocol.
Yeah, mine too.
I've got the DX6 hanging right there on the wall still. I'm not going to get rid of it. And I bought the inductrix from Horizon, and I was able to fly around my house. And oh man, it it
It's so awesome.
it saved me. And then I see you guys. I'm flying for a while. I'm getting where I'm taping together the balloons that you fasten together to make a rabbit or whatever. I'm taping them together in a square, and,
Oh yeah,
and mask and painters taping it up to the wall and the doors in
yeah.
my house, and I'm just whooping through it. And and then I turn on and I see the TinyWhoop Invitational, and I was like, oh. Of course, now I was on seizure medication and everything, so down there in your basement with everything flashing and all that, and I was kind of like, I don't do psychedelics. I don't have to. After my head injury, all I got to do is fly dynamic tracks with LEDs. That's why all of my quads will have LEDs on them. And I've never told Jesse that, but thank you, Jesse. And when I bought that, I
Oh
ordered it.
man.
I saw it that night and I ordered it. I'm like, I gotta do it. I told my wife I don't have enough birthday money, and she was like, here, do it, get it. I got it,
Oh,
and
that's so sweet.
and 5 sets of brushed motors through the thing. It's how much I
Nice.
flew it, and
That's
I
awesome.
think the secret sauce was the last ones that I was up to.
Oh, that's so awesome, dude.
So when I knew I was going to meet
Thank
you,
you so much.
well, it means so lot. Thank you. It saved. I don't want to say it saved my life, but it probably did, partially, because I have the whole thing rise up and meet me in the air. It's just I can take when it's not windy. You can take a 65 millimeter out and just soar it through the trees, and just whatever's going on, just get away from it. And
Yeah,
so
it's really important to me that too.
so
You
that's
know
why
the
I brought that tiny whoop, and I had you sign it. And I said, this one will never be sold. I've already instructed my wife that, if something happens to me, there's friends and stuff. I got a bunch of airplanes and a bunch of stuff she doesn't know, uh, begin to know what they're worth. But that one goes back to Tiny Whoop. And
Oh
so,
man, what an honor.
so it, it, it was, it's an honor for me to have you on the channel. And for
Well, you
every,
should just
yeah, go ahead.
should fly it forever too. You should
Oh,
keep
yeah.
flying it,
Oh,
especially if it's going to wind up back in the museum.
hmm
You got to fly it as much as possible.
Oh yeah, I've still got an extra set of secret sauce motors for it and all of that. I intend to. I like to take it to church and land it up in the chandelier or on the blades of the
Nice.
of
That's how
the
you do the
ceiling
dusting
fans.
up there.
Yeah, that's a good way. So
A lot of people don't talk about that aspect of learning to fly FPV that you mentioned. I think it is really important, and
hmm
that is like, because it came to me at a time in my life where I had a lot going on. I was making a big change to my lifestyle and a bunch of other stuff. And when you're learning to fly, it's not like you can, like, maybe now you're the kind of pilot, I'm the kind of pilot, maybe you guys in the chat, the kind of pilots that could like fly around and like think about your day while you're flying. You know what I mean? But your first 20 packs, you weren't doing that. Your first 20 packs, whole brain was active. Your whole
Mm-hmm.
brain, there was like you could be the most stressed out guy in the world, and that stress is not gonna like you're not gonna be like flying around when you're learning to fly and then think, oh man, did I pay that bill? Did I do such and such thing for
Mm-hmm.
my job or for my relationship? It's just
Right.
not gonna come up in your mind because your whole brain is focused. And you know, we say it all the time. The best thing that ever came out of the FPV movement, the TinyWhoop movement, is our friends because
Mm.
relationships happen through this
Yes.
hobby.
Yep.
And you know, I know as well as everybody in the chat does that the friends are the real magic. But the gift of flight is an unbelievable experience in so many ways to enjoy it. And nobody really talks about how in the beginning when you're learning, it is an instant vacation because
Mm-hmm.
you can't possibly do other things with your mind. And most of the activities you do day to day in your life something that are have at least a tiny bit of autopilot built in. You know, so you like I could be like, "Oh man, I need to do such and such chore or whatever for my family." But while I'm doing that, I could still be stressed out. When you're learning to fly, you can't be stressed out. It's like impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And what's up, Blasta?
Right.
And anyway, I think that's an important aspect that gets overlooked. Like there's so many wonderful things about tiny whip flight, but the fact that it consumes your entire brain during learning is a tool that we should use as much as possible,
And
especially on our friends that need it.
yeah, and for me, you know, it's it's such an important part because most of the people, not all, but most of the people that I know in the hobby, they started right around here, 65 or 75.
Yep.
And, you know, my opinion, I might be wrong, but I don't think they would be an IO today without whoops. And,
Well,
you
you know
know,
that may be true, but I can't deny that. Like I was a early adopter of FPV and drone technology for quad rotor technology. I was in the right place at the right time, and when I got the idea, TinyWhoop was not ever supposed to be a store. I never imagined it would be the movement that it has become. It was just supposed to be a fun YouTube channel with funny music, you know, and an experiment of messing with people and animals, tiny drones or something, you know. Now it's a runaway freight train. Absolutely no single person is behind the wheel. Definitely not me. And there's so many innovators pushing it to the next level and playing with tiny flight that
mm-hmm.
you know I never would have seen that coming. Yeah, it was always just a little YouTube channel that I you know wanted to play around and have fun with,
Yeah. I had
just like
someone,
you having fun with YouTube.
right. I had someone tell me the other day, I mean, I have no reason to doubt the person at all, but they were telling me that they have some inside knowledge that the military is getting in to whoop racing, and that that's I guess that's a good way for them to train their pilots or whatever. So maybe one day we'll see an Army Navy or Air Force Sky Force, you know, whoop championship or something, and uh, then then it would definitely explode. So
None of that is a if. It's all just a when.
right,
You know, keep in mind where we're at in the history of tiny whoops. As of about 2 years ago, every single school in this country has a tiny whoop in it. And now pretty much every school in the developed world and the ones that don't have micro drones or tiny whoops in them know how beneficial it is and are gonna get to that level. That means that the people who are aware of FPV are just, you know, every year, every school is cranking out people aware of FPV, and that's never happened before. And
right,
so far, it's only happened for a couple people. Um, so,
right.
I like to bring that perspective because we're at a really important time in the history of FPV and the
Yeah.
history of Tiny Whoop.
Stan Dealey says, seriously, out of all of the drones in the world, I always love whoops the most. They don't threaten people, and I can do it inside despite the weather or anytime. I tell you, I've tried everything from Beast class all the way down, and for me, you know, it's 65 and 75 millimeter is my bread and butter. I mean, I just opened this today, and
Nice.
so
That's awesome.
some of you asking if I was going to get it. I Carl didn't have it and wasn't able to send it to me for nothing, but I did get my hands on it, and I will be sharing my thoughts on it.
Oh yeah. Man, there's nothing like a fresh one in the box, huh?
That's right. That's right. And
Oh man.
that's the AIO
Yep, that's the new
Mobita
one.
7
That's got a
race.
Lux on there.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's my favorite camera.
yeah, yeah, I like it. And I know some people say that they don't notice any difference in the Lux, and I know cameras are subjective, but I notice a considerable difference
Oh yeah.
in the Lux and
noticed.
the Eco. But yeah, so
No, oh, the Lux versus Eco. Yeah, I mean, I made a video comparing those two. I'm not trying to promote my channel here, but yeah, it's night and day. And the Lux, if anybody out there is flying the Lux, I want to encourage you to do two things: set your goggles to 16:9, and then go into through stick commands, go into the camera and set it to 16:9. And then I also like to pretty much remove the OSD, put on a switch or something. It's like really awesome. It takes up so much screen real estate in the HDzero goggles.
yeah, I throw my saturation up to around 7, just a little bit on it, and it just pops.
Nice.
But,
Oh, nice.
But see, I have all of them, and I'm trying to get it together. I have every 60. This is not one of them. I have every bind and fly 65 millimeter HDzero. Every one of them.
Two.
From 533.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm going to do a comparison from all of them. Even the
Awesome.
prototype one that Newbie Drone put out just for a little while. I got that one with the V3 camera on it. It has the full size.
Oh, that's nice.
It don't fly long.
Lippy cable.
Yeah, it doesn't fly long, but when it's flying, it's pretty. So that's part of the reason for these. That's not a great racer, because I can't finish 2 laps with it. But flying around in the trees, or gorilla whooping something, these right here might work. And if I have to extend my battery cable to make it more balanced, then that's what I plan to do. So
Do it. Expand your battery cable. Send me pictures. Let me know how that goes, because I love that battery, and I love all the use cases for it.
yeah,
I want to say what's up really quick to Derpy Hooves, and good morning. Thanks for joining us. Are you up late or up early?
welcome to
And
the
I'll
channel.
see you in 1 month, by the way, Derpy.
Welcome to the channel, Derpy Hoops. I've never seen you before, but you're welcome here all the time.
You should subscribe, Derpy.
Yeah,
And everybody.
yeah.
And how come nobody hit the like button? Maybe I
hit
need
the
to
smash
refresh,
button.
but I told everybody like the smash button, ladies and gentlemen.
Hit the smash button. It will make your life better. I promise. I promise.
It will.
So
It'll make your friends' lives better.
that's
You
it.
have to,
That's it.
You have to beat the YouTube algorithm.
That's it. That's it.
Nice.
Well, most of my video plugins, I don't have it on this because I had to do a new source.
New
on
scene,
there.
yeah.
So most of my buttons for my funny stuff on my Stream Deck's not working. So, and Smash is, but let's see if this one works.
What's up, Squid?
Well,
How you doing, dude?
that one kind of
I
works.
didn't see you show up either. I hope you're subscribed to this channel. Pinch cams? So sorry. Pinch cams were supposed to show up today. So the improved pinch cams, which again, very minor change, just a little bit lighter. I just found a way to squeeze off some more, milligrams or whatever. They're supposed to be here today. They could be outside right now, but they're probably going to show up. It might not even make it on Friday. It could get pushed to next week, but I'll set some aside with your name on it, Dub Squared. How about that? Or anybody. We got tons of them coming in.
You are a famous Lego custom drone pilot. All right.
Oh yeah, and I've got my Derpy Hooves original right there. If you give me just 1 sec, I'll
Thanks for the
show it off.
sub.
Can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the
I'm gonna
sub, Derpy.
disappear from video for 1 sec. Hold on just
All
a
right,
minute, guys.
that's good. That's good. Boom. Oh, look at that.
That's me. You can see I'm holding a little microphone because I'm always doing commentary, and there's my drone.
Ah.
That on sideways, probably because of the shadow box. I don't think it would have fit. And
Yeah.
then we got Mr. E and Derpy Hooves limited edition stickers in the back. One of my prized possessions is always going to be on my wall here.
There you go. That's nice. And I guess it was hard to find the heart-shaped glasses and Lego size. So
Back then, excuse me.
my audio is gone.
Oh no, back then I don't think. Oh, audio back now. Okay, we're good.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Anyway, I love it, Derpy.
Yeah. So yeah.
And you guys, I should say, I was gonna call it at 7:30, but I'm gonna give it about 10 more minutes, and then I've got to get to the family tonight. I wish I could hang out all night. You told me Scully did a 3-hour podcast. That's what I want to do, man. Just have me back again. I would love to come back. It's always good to hang.
In any time, that's one of the things that I tell everybody that was gracious enough to be a guest is you're welcome here anytime. If you got something you want to announce and you just want to hop in for 10 minutes, just let me know and you can hop in and say, hey guys, the pinch cams are in or whatever. And I got to go, and we can, as long as I've got some time to schedule it. So yeah.
You just show up and try to sell stuff?
Yeah. Hey.
Just really take advantage. I'm just kidding. That's not my style, but I like to give leaks. I always look for places like if I'm gonna, I like to give leaks. So I'll totally pop in and drop a leak.
Yeah.
I always go to Infinity Loops and I do hashtag Infinity Leaks and try to blow some information out over there.
Yeah.
What's up, Mars?
There, Mars FPV. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's been on here a few times. I know he's intricate at Whooptopia. PhatPastor, thanks for introducing me to Trackside. I'm doing my first race directing event in March. Well, man, you're welcome. You're welcome. So it's just, we had a lull there when the elusive 8-way was easier spotted in the wild than the Yeti. So it was hard. Now it's back. I got one. That one up here on the shelf. Poorly packaged, but made like a tank, so I think it'll be fine. But yeah, man, you're quite welcome. That's what all this is about. I mean, what the channel is for us to get together, for you guys to meet everybody. I got to meet Jessie and Perkins in person. That's part of my insane. It's a part of my head injury. Thank you, Atreides, for the $2.
You start calling me Jesse Person.
Jesse Persons.
You can meet me in Perkins.
That's right. I think there is a Perkins, Tennessee, so we should have a race there, Jesse.
Let's go.
An in Perkins race in Persons, Tennessee. I don't know, but yeah, it's not dyslexic been easy. So, well, guys, we'll let you guys ask some more questions if you want to. I've enjoyed. I was going to say over the years, I've talked to Jesse. I don't know, on Facebook, probably 50 times or more over the years, and in the live streams and things that during the races. But when I finally got to meet him, one of the things that I do is I study people. And I am a student. I'm not an expert. I'm a student of body language, and usually I can pick phony out usually pretty quick. And what you see with Jesse is what you get, and I respect that. And
It's really nice.
It was just an honor to meet you and work with you, and hopefully, I've expressed my concerns. At IO, I would like to see TinyWhoop racing going on every day at IO, and there'd be a beginner class, a sport class.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just like Whooptopia, so that because so many people come into the hobby through TinyWhoop,
Yeah.
and I just love the way that it's done. I love the community of it, and I can't say enough how much I just love being a part of of this hobby and all that. And honored to have you on tonight. So
That is so nice. Thank you, Marty.
yeah,
And it's an honor to hang with you too. And I wish I would have had more time at IO. It felt like IO came and went so fast. It just was a whirlwind and
a little bit of a whirlwind
tornado,
that one
like
night.
a little
Yeah,
bit of a disaster. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, and
And
literally a whirlwind at one time almost. So yeah,
there was a moment, yeah, where it actually was literally a whirlwind.
yeah, the storm
Um,
was crazy. Yeah. So
um, I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you earlier in the chat. I saw you and I was waiting for a moment and then I got distracted. But yeah, it's gonna be good to meet, and I can't wait to see you at Whoop House Bird, one of my favorite whoop houses in Birmingham, UK this year. It's actually happening 1 month. Yeah, 1 month from today is Birmingham International Race Day, and
is that going to be streamed, Jesse, or do you know?
yeah, be
Okay.
streamed on a couple channels. I can't remember the name of one of them, but it will be on the TinyWhoop channel as well.
All right.
FPV Racing Solutions is the other one.
Okay.
So subscribe to FPV Racing Solutions and then go ahead, subscribe to my channel, whatever. But yeah, kids and anybody who's in the UK, come on over to Whoop House. And I'm sorry to say this in front of all these United States citizens, but it's kind of my favorite Whoop House because I think partly because it's huge, so many people there, and for me as an outsider, as somebody from the other side, no matter what room you walk into, I get to make friends, and they're always, it's just like your FPV family and your FPV family.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of really cool and special people, and you're like, every time you go into another FPV family or like any tight club, kind of, you just make friends that surprise and delight you, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it's all about. When you got a gigantic whoop house, pretty much the only whoop house happening in Europe at this stage, by the way. It is just a really special thing. So yeah, can't wait to see you, kids. Derpy, I hope you're coming to the Whoop House. Anybody else on that side? And if you're not, I think tickets are pretty cheap. If you got an extra 5 Benjamins in your pocket, you might be able to show up at Whoop House over there next month, and we can hang out. Don't rule it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesse,
Daggle. Go ahead.
off of your head, what's a pinch cam normally run?
I think they're $18. Not
Okay.
sure.
So what I'll do, for everybody on here in just a little bit, I'll do a giveaway of $25 gift card. Do you guys do gift cards on TinyWhoop?
Sure.
Okay, so I will give away in honor of Jesse coming on a
Oh man,
$25
thank you.
gift card.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to be a member. I'll just have to set it up, and Jesse's up against, getting the little one to bed and all. So we will.
Well, he's in bed. I'm just supposed to hang with my fam, or with my wife, really.
Yeah,
But
yeah, brother. Whenever you need to go, please don't feel
yeah,
obligated.
I'll have to go
stay.
here in a sec. I should be going, but
Yeah. Well, it'll take me a minute to get that set up, and you can come back and watch it later. And what I'll do is I'll just purchase the gift card, and you'll have to contact me via email. This works easier for me
why
when
don't
we
you
got
just
people
work it out with
overseas.
me directly?
Okay.
Don't buy a gift card.
Okay.
Just work it out with me directly, and that way we can cheat the PayPal fees and the Shopify fees.
Okay. That'll work. That'll work. So what I will
Give
do
more to the people. That is to say.
yeah, what I will do is I will give Jesse $25, and then he will give you $25 in merchandise. So, which is more than a pinch cam, and I wished it could be more. I wished it was more, but I do have some giveaways because I'm cleaning out everything. Some of you might have noticed it's different behind me. I've got, I've got this is just totes full of just FPV stuff that I'm, you know, I'm not going to use it all. So I'm going to be giving away stuff. You know, I'll probably even give away, I don't know, I'll give away something else maybe tonight too. So, Jesse, I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for everything you do for our hobby. And, you know, and it's just been amazing working with you and just seeing what TinyWhoop has done. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen in 2025.
Me too. Me too. And I feel the same about you. I love working with you, Marty. And
Yeah.
any ideas you ever have, I'm open to hearing them. And I'm just reading the chat.
$25
Yeah,
for
I
stickers.
hope we've hinted at a few of those things, but I really hope that they come to fruition.
Yeah. So you're going to Whooptopia, and then you're going to go over to the UK right after that.
Yeah, so actually I should mention this. I try to do this everywhere I go, just to mention the schedule, okay? Here's what it looks like. In September, this is already passed, but right now we're right before Whooptopia and we're after the West Coast Tiny Whoop Championships. Here's the way I look at the season, okay? Race number 1 is the Tiny Whoop Preseason Invitational. That's in September. Then in October is the West Coast Tiny Whoop Championships. And in January is the Whooptopia. And then at the very end of January, beginning of February, is Birmingham International Race Day over there in the UK. Then come back to the United States because we've got the Air Force race in Dayton, Ohio. That's the National Museum. That's the micro drone race at the National Museum of the United States Air Force. That's the longest name in FPV of any event. One of my favorites is a little bit of a smaller race, but just an unbelievable place to fly around historical, gigantic aircraft. Right after that, 2 weeks later is the Northeast Whoop Championships, which is thrown over there by We Bleed FPV up in the Northeast. That's a really fun one. It was last year anyway. I'm going again this year. I get to sit next to Joe Scully and commentate that one as well. And then after that, in Colorado, Tiny Whoop Open is happening again. It will be bigger than ever. That was one of the things I was considering dropping some bombs about, but we are just so excited about everything happening at Tiny Whoop Open. And if you're thinking about coming to your first micro drone race that is like travel worthy, that would be a really good one to not miss. We also put so much love and effort into Whoop House. And then it starts to roll into the summer, which is a lot of outdoor stuff. So yeah, April is one of the last ones. And I really like to tell everybody about that framework because unless you're in Tennessee or I guess the Southeast, there's a few corners of this country that are not covered, you know. But there's pretty much one that's a few hours from you, no matter where you are right now.
Yeah.
Derpy says, "How long am I in the UK?"
Yeah.
A short time. It may be. It's going to be tight. It's looking like 7 days, but even that is tough. So we'll see. But I'm going to run down to Bournemouth quickly and visit a mentor of mine. I'm going to hang out 1 or 2 days before and after. And if you got something going on, Derpy, I'm probably down.
Yeah. And before you go, remember, if you can, I'm serious about it. I want to get in touch with Benedict. I would love to get in touch with him. And,
all right. Yeah, I'll
and
hook it up.
Interview him and just honor if he does it. You know, just
Oh,
honor what he's done. You know, because
he's the Godfather.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Really quick. Never answered Doggle, if I'm even saying it right. But yeah. West Coast Tiny Whoop Championships, aka Nightwing's birthday race, was a really, really fun time a month or two ago. Myopic was there, helped a lot with it actually. And yeah, the thing about California, and this is true for a couple of little places in this country, but there's tons of Tiny Whoop pilots in California and very few race organizers. So whenever you do something like that, you get a bunch of people together that make friends, and that's really cool. So we're definitely going back. We're going to double the size of the event next year, and it'll be held somewhere October, November, likely in Sacramento area.
All right. All right. Well, Jesse, I don't want to keep you any longer than what we discussed or
Yeah,
anything. But
it's probably time for me to call it.
and remember, you're
Really wish I
welcome
could hang.
at PhatPastor's channel anytime.
Thank
Anytime
you so much.
if you just want to pop in, you got we got each other's contacts, and so
Yeah.
um, and hopefully maybe if you know if we can get our stuff together here, maybe there'll be a big race one day, and
Who
that
knows?
we can
Who
invite you
knows?
to that we can invite you to
I
or
hope
something.
so.
And all right, so thanks a lot, Jesse, for what you're
Yeah,
doing.
thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to all the people that actually finally liked the smash button. I refreshed it and saw that you guys all did. But for some reason, it wasn't updating on mine. It was showing 4 likes,
Yeah,
which was like the first 5 minutes of the stream or something.
yeah,
Um, anyway, great to hang out with you, Marty. Great to hang out with everybody
yes,
in the
yes.
chat. And I'm sure I'll see you guys again soon somewhere, somehow.
Thank you, Jesse. You have a
Good night,
good
guys.
night. Night. All
Adios.
right. There we go. I had to turn this microphone back on. What a great person. What a great person and a great business and all of that. You guys do not need me to tell you that that Jesse is awesome. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take just a second because it's actually on the same page as my YouTube analytics that I'm going to set up a giveaway. So we will. I've got to set up um, the. Let's see what I want to call it. Let's just edit the Cash App one because I've got to put in there what you got to type up. And I type slow, so yes, Jesse is freaking awesome. Thank you, Bagzilla. Come on, Marty. Give me just 1 second, guys. Let me type this thing up. So I want to honor you guys for watching. Everyone, you don't have to subscribe. You don't have to do anything. If you are a member, I will tell you before I start it. If you are a member, you get extra tickets. You get extra entries. If you want to know how to be a member, it's in the link in the description below. It may pay off. I think it starts at $1.99. So I'm just going to call it TinyWhoop Cash. TinyWhoop Cash, and let me confirm it, and then change the settings to be TinyWhoop. It'll come on here in a minute. How you will enter is it's going to be got audio in here. Let me see who's in the audio. Whoever's, mute your mic for a minute if you will. Skip, if you can. We're picking it up. I don't know if it's picking it up on the stream or not. All right, I think I got everything. I've just learned if I don't do this right, guys, it makes everything harder. So let me go back up here to the giveaways. All right, I'm going to start it, and you got 5 minutes. You should see something come up in the chat here telling you to enter exclamation point TinyWhoop. That's how you enter. If you are a member, you will get 3 entries. So let's see. Great Scott got it right. He's in here. So if you type what you see on the screen right there, you will be entered in the drawing to win 25. And even if you're in Ohio, it's, you just contact Jessie, because I will make it happen. So we're getting, there we go. We're getting it populated. We've got 12 people so far in it. I may have to. Yep. You guys are doing it. You guys are doing it. It will let you know when you got it, so you don't have to keep doing it. Pigeon flies, drones, king kite. Seeing some names I've not seen in a while. Thank you guys for coming on. And we got 5 minutes. You still got 3 minutes and 34 seconds to go. So, isn't Jessie awesome, guys? I'll show you a few things. I did show you this. I can turn my bench camera on. I'm moving some things around, so I've literally got to put my mouse where all of this stuff's should be moved around the next time you see. But here she is, guys, while y'all are entering all of that. Fresh out of the box. First time taken out of the box. It is the 75mm Freestyle Edition. Hopefully I'll be able to get together and do a review on it pretty quick. But yeah, I'm excited. Big I hope this one flies better than the Mobilite 7. It had some issues with it. It didn't fly that great in my opinion. So yeah, let's come back here. I'm wondering if my name was in any of the drawings in Infinity Loops. Well, let me tell you. Let me read the names here real quick. Great Scott, Philoblaster, Bitterroot, Myopic, Props Off, Skydozer, Brundlefly, Bagzilla, Daigle Pup, Atreides, Nordy FPV, Burpee Hoofs, Derpy Hoofs, I'm sorry, not Burpee, forgive me, Derpy Hoofs, King Kike, Pigeons Fly Drones, Kevin Smith, Kiz Bartlett, Double A, and Z King. You still have 1 minute and 35 seconds. I'm going to slide over here and grab something to show you guys. Worked on this, and with the help of Skip from 533, we come up with this. Here's I need to redo. I've got the way I print the face. I need to print it up and back. But here is the newest trophies that we're going to be giving out. It's got a little UDL in his hand right here. So yeah, I thought that would be cool for people to. That's a different type trophy for you to have on your trophy shelf. It was a bobblehead, but this one doesn't bobble. It's super glued on. So yeah, and starting at the next race that we're doing, we're going to be doing. Everybody that makes it to the finals will get got 25 seconds. We'll get a trophy. So there'll be first, second, third, and fourth. So wonder how much lighter the pinch cam will be. Yeah. He was Burpee Hoofs. Yes, I got you. I don't know. He said it wouldn't be much, but it's at least lighter. I can turn Jarvis on now that he is off here. When we have a guest, I don't like to run Jarvis because it steps on the guests. Alright, let's see if that works now. I'm probably going to have to pop the chat in and back out. Let me do this. Boom. And hold on. There we go. Are you guys hearing Jarvis at all? With all the sound issues that I have? Yeah, I'm probably not hearing Jarvis. That's okay. If not, then all right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I got him turned off. Let's see if that works now. What's a Latter-day Saint? I can hear Jarvis whether you can hear it or not. So let me try to add the audio source for this window. Let me try. Yeah. I don't know what's happened to it. It's all changed. I've got way too many. Yeah, it's coming through another channel. Let me just call it. Give me just a second. I know the giveaway is over. Yeah. Let me. Yes, I need some help. That's for sure. I don't know. No, I don't think that's gonna work. Hang on, I'll show it. Here we go.
Echo is back.
The echo.
Not me.
Okay.
Kiz Bartlett, Kiz. Echo lol.
Say it again.
Open mouth smile.
Now you hear Jarvis, correct? But I'm probably, yeah, you should hear Jarvis now. Let me know if you hear him. So, okay, here is...
I hear Jarvis now.
Yeah.
Jarvis is working.
Yeah, let me copy this while I see it working. Give me a second, guys.
I say keep the echo on. Makes your pastor voice sound more holy. At PhatPastor, do you have a pilot sticker? Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I do. If you message me in the description below.
Jarvis sounds like a beans on toast kind of fellow.
Yes, he is English. That's for sure. All right, so let's.
Jaw Vice. Hey
no.
Marty, hope the new year treats you well.
It has so far. Started off with Jessie Perkins on the channel, so let's.
Echo went away.
Okay, good. You're hearing it, so good. Let's. We have 18 people, but there's a total of 22 tickets, so it means that not all of the members signed up for it, but you can see most. Let me see if I can slide this over.
Hello,
It's-
I'm Jarvius. Rolling on the floor laughing.
Jarvius. I don't know how to spell it. So, but anyway, you guys want to see this, who won, right? That's what you're here for, right? So here we go. We got 18 people. It's over.
Email address.
Yeah, it's in the description at phatpastorfpv@gmail.com. So let's do it.
I need to be mindful that we are on Pastor's stream and not loops.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's pick a winner. Oh, right, I got to pick it on this screen instead of the.
Fancy a trip to Wimbledon to womble with the wombles and butter my crumpets.
Kiz Bartlett.
Streamlabs. Righto, Mr. Pastor. Got it.
Kiz
At
Bartlett.
Kiz Bartlett,
You
Kiz
are the
has
winner.
won a. Congrats at Kiz Bartlett, Kiz. Oops FPV. Only the cool kids win prizes. Let's go. Oncoming fist light skin tone. Oops, I missed this one. Jolly good. Yes, Brundle heart. Congrats. Woohoo. Hey. Congrats.
Congrats.
But way to go,
congrats.
kids.
Yes. Let me do.
Wow. Kids. Congrats, brother. Thank you, smiley face. Epic.
You is the winner. All right. Can you guys come on? Come on. Why is it not working on this? I have no idea. I just copied it. Do you hear anything now with him? Oh, come on. Shh, forget it. Yeah. I'll have to work on it later. I've done something to mess it up when it updated. But congratulations, Kiz. You are the winner. And what I will do is I will contact Jesse, send him the money for you, and you will contact him and get your. Well, you yeah. Well, let me see if what is. Let me. Oh, this. That should pick it up. I don't know why it's not. All right. Well, until he says something, I can't know of what I did.
Pastor, have you ever flown a fixed wing
There he
FPV
is.
before?
There he is.
I will
call it
behave.
fixed. Yes.
Bagzilla.
Yes, I have.
There you go at Kiz Bartlett, you just scored you the new pinch cam.
There, now you can hear Jarvis. Yes, I have. I have got a Strix 5-6 foot wingspan straddle surfer up here that I had a head tracker on it, and someone wanted the head tracker, so I sold it to them. So, but and I've not flown it since. I need to get it back out. I have got a Pitts 800 millimeter pits, which is probably 3-foot wingspan, that I want to put a head tracker pan tilt camera in the cockpit on it.
Straddle surfer.
Straddle surfer, yeah. Yep. I've got experience with a few of those too. So, yeah. What I've got, let me show you guys some stuff. What I've found so far. All right, I'm back. What I found so far that
I want too much stuff. Rolling on the floor laughing. 2.
that I'm going to be giving away. I've got unopened Source V4 5-inch frame, a Source 1 V3 frame. We'll be giving these away later on other streams. I have this, and it's got all the TPU for all the feet.
Nice.
Feet TPUs. I think it's a Source 1. I don't know what it is. It's got thick carbon on it. I was going to build it for,
Oh, nice.
Going to
The
build
Source.
Yeah, I think this is a 7-inch.
I need V5.
Yeah, I have a V5 that I'm going to be giving away, and this one comes with a pedestal if you want to do all Pet G.
V3 is the beast.
And so that will go with the one for long range. And back when I had had a session and the orange thing, I've got a ton of session mounts, if that's what you want to call them, TPU session mounts. Even a long range one here to put your GPS up in the top of it, or your magnetometer up here to get it away from a lot of the noise. And this is for a long range antenna, gets it up vertical. So yeah, I've got some factory ones. I don't fly these anymore, don't use them anymore,
Great bando frames.
and going to be giving those away. And this is just probably 2 bins that I've started to go through. So there'll be more giveaways tonight. I mean, in the future on the stream. So stay tuned for that. Have a good evening. Double A.
Heading
thanks
out. Marty Cool. Good to see you tonight. Happy New Year, buddy. Chat cool. Love yars. What I need is a flight controller for TinyHawk Freestyle 2.
Yeah, no, you were on here a couple of weeks ago talking about that, and man, we looked and looked, and I think what we'd come up with about the only thing that you're going to be able to do is go with Emaxes, and that's almost as much as another quad. So I don't know. I wished I could help you with that, man. I don't. If I come across one, and which I don't think I've got one, but if I come across one in all of my bins, it's like, I don't know. Let me see if I can give you guys an idea of some of the stuff here. I just
Need a IO. Get a IO.
Yeah. This has got, I think it's just, I don't know what that was. 3-inch props, what it looks like. This is like literally full. It's got the, I was going to build this modern. I'm still thinking about it. Doing a modern build of the,
Unfortunately, that is a strange FC.
yes, it is. So, and I've got everything
A
thrown.
Max's unique parts is what keeps me from buying them again.
I've got all kinds
Beta
of just,
FPV has some good options. F405 IO.
yeah, see right in the middle of this props, I've got a Ranger module. Just one in there, just thrown in that box. So I've
Just
got
need a ELRS.
to go through all of it. Got a peanut frame. So some of you might be familiar with that.
I don't think a standard IO will fit in a Freestyle 2 frame. You'll have to buy the EMAX 1.
Yeah, I think that's what we come up with. This thing moves. I don't know how I'm gonna work it out. The DeLorean failed, but it ain't sitting right anyway. So yeah. Wow.
I started on
guys.
EMAX, but don't think I'm ever going back to them again.
So what are your guys' thoughts on these super long batteries? We got Jesse's thoughts on them. I haven't flown them. I just got them today, in the mail today, and
EMAX proprietary stuff. Expressionless.
yeah.
At Sking FPV I had to 3D print an adapter to use a 5-in-1. Love the 465 mAh.
Yeah.
For real though, they're to proprietary. The Freestyle 3 uses a 25 by 25 standard IO and is much better than the version 1 and version 2 IO.
Yeah. It's you could do that. I'll show you guys something else here. Let me do this real quick.
Fly them toilet tank. Beer mugs.
The mail's here. Here's the mail that never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want a whale. Mail!
It makes me smile to think my friends will say, I wonder what's in the mail today. What's in the mail today? What's in the mail today? I wonder.
Mail call! Copperbottom.
The EMAX
This one's
goggles
from
seem
your mom.
good for a starter set.
Is there anything for me? Oh, I got something for you. That's from my sister.
I recognize the handwriting.
What's in the mail today?
Those long 465 mAh packs are perfect for a long cruise with a 65mm HDzero AIO5.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's perfect for that. Let me switch to the bench cam. You still have my voice on. Hang on. I think I've lost Jarvis again. Give me just a second. And let's paste reference. Now we should have Jarvis. All right, come on. Where you at?
Fist light
Yeah,
skin
let's
tone.
just do it this way. Yeah, good night, guys. I know it's getting late for lots of people. Props off. Thanks, man, for
At Raymond Correa, you looking to upgrade?
for joining us tonight, man. Appreciate it. Going to show you. I'm just going to stick with this cam here. These are the. This is the box that I got 2 sets of them. They come in a set of 4.
Exactly. Props off. I would suggest a pocket radio for a good starter.
So I got 2 of them. And for those of you that are local, I got these. Let's see. I've not looked at them, so I will share them with you guys. My first impression of the new, that's the 4th place trophy. Pewter, I think that's what it's supposed to be. 4th. It says on the ribbon. And I got ones 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So nice to give away. Nice medals.
Very cool. Bitterroot FPV, definitely. I'm partial to the Zorro though. Pinched fingers, light skin tone beer mugs. Fresh. Just upgrade to Skyzone Cobra X version 4 goggles.
And of course it's got first, I could see first on it, and 2nd and 3rd. They're bronze and silver.
Open mouth
and
smile.
and pewter. So these are for the pilots in the in the local races. You guys come out and join us. Got some more stickers. So, yep. And I just got that and the Mobilite 7 and a Band-Aid. A We Bleed Band-Aid. Put it on your whoop when you're racing. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the mail call for today. I think I'm gonna wrap the stream up. I don't know how long I've been streaming, but it's been a good stream. I've been going for 2 hours.
Raymond, do you have other
15
quads
minutes.
than that Emax drone?
Yeah, that's the thing about Emax is it's so proprietary. It's hard, they're plugs.
Have a good night all.
Yeah.
Stan Dealey. Always keep a We Bleed Band-Aid on hand.
Yep. Always need one.
I'm gonna sell a pair of goggles soon.
Yeah. I've got a pair of them.
Any suggestions on antenna?
For what, Raymond?
It's been a long time. Curtis Hayes. Those We Bleed FPV Band-Aids are great after long Velocidrone sessions lol. I thought I missed the live stream, saw the live under the other chat and clicked, so now I'm here and it's ending lol. Keep me in mind at Bitterroot FPV if analog.
Yeah.
Trok
Just-
antennas are the best.
Curtis, if you just hit
Y3s
the,
build a 5 inches and 3 inches.
if you just hit that like button and smash the YouTube button, ring the little bell, it'll let you know when I'm on. I'm thinking about adding another night to
Skyzone Cobra 4.
to streaming.
I prefer ham radio antennas. Hex beams are
So-
great antennas.
What do you guys think about Tuesday nights?
Cause you could take the rest of the parts off that quad and put them on a 65mm crown frame or 75mm frame and just get a IO and it'll work great.
Mm-hmm.
See. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper.
Hey,
Hey bro,
Apache.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Apache. If not talked to you in a while, man. Good to see you back on the channel. Good to see you back on the channel.
I buttoned the smash like. Dominator
All
HD
right.
at GR8 Scott.
Stan, it's you're like me. It's not
Skyzone Cobra X
it's not
version 4
dyslexic being
goggles.
it's not dyslexic being easy, is it? So yeah. All right.
Thanks for the sub.
All right. Thank you for the sub, Curtis. If you guys haven't, it doesn't cost you anything to sub and hit that like button. I kind of view it like if you go to a restaurant you've never been to before or whatever, and you like the food and the service was good and all of that, then you leave a tip.
Isa bang the ilk button.
Yep. And yeah, I saw that, Curtis. Thank you. Hitting that like button and
Ha ha ha.
and
I buttoned the like smash.
yeah, that's the ha ha ha. That's my ha ha ha. I love it. So, yeah. Those are the clips I was trying to play, but because I had to make a new scene to get Jesse's audio to come through for whatever reason, it wouldn't come through. So, yeah. How about next But next
I seen
Thursday-
Skyzone 040 for like $308 somewhere today.
Yeah. I've got a set of HD3s with a HDzero module on it that I'm going to be selling. So stick around for that. I can't afford to give those away, but there's going to be more giveaways coming up because I'm sure I'm going to run across some things that I don't have much of a need for. What's your guys' thought before I wrap this up tonight about a Tuesday night stream? Kind of focusing on more of what like last week's stream was like, having a panel of local guys and different people on, and just talking about what's new in the hobby and what's going on in the world and how it affects the hobby and things like that. You guys down for that? Would you guys like to see some stream like that a little more? If you do, just give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you wouldn't, give me a thumbs down.
Sounds good.
Because some people are like,
I have my Fat Shark HD02s I was debating getting rid of. Not really sure yet. Do you have a Discord?
Yes. Yes, I do. I'll post a link to it. That's what I was actually on with Jesse. He was linked through Discord. But let me pull it. It's open now. There it is. I'm actually still live in the... we got some people in... I'm still in the live stream part of it. I'm going to close out there. We got a couple guys in the chatter box. Let me show you the we got, nope, that's not the right one. Monty, there it is. We got a couple guys in the let me turn it off. Hang on. No, I need to hang up here. Hang on, guys. Hanging up. There we go. They're having a private conversation. I didn't mean to jump in on that. Let me share. Invite people. Copy. Let's throw this in the chat. Yeah, the Discord is free. We sim Velocidrone quite a bit.
Classic with the rapid fire mic. https://discord.gg/zq8n6v9.
The Discord is free. However, there are parts of the Discord that are reserved for members only. And if you really want to support
Keep them
the channel,
for a little longer.
I don't have a Patreon. People have tried to talk me into it, but I do have channel membership. With channel membership, you get access to certain parts of the Discord. That's just members only. Everything else is free for everybody. There's no paywall for the Discord. But every giveaway, you'll get more tickets in the giveaway if you are a member, and so it increases your chances.
I don't
of winning.
fly analog at all, lol.
Yep. I don't either, Mike. I don't. That's why both. I have two sets. I have.
Don't see you in Discord, Pastor.
I clicked out of it. I was still in the. I was in the live stream one, but I clicked out of it. I can join back in this one. Let me see.
TinyWhoop Hoops.
Yeah, there I am. I'm in that one. If you want to join in and maybe your audio will be heard, you're welcome to do that. We can open that up for people. Yeah, Atreides, I'm still on the stream, so I didn't know if your and Zach's conversation was private conversation or not. Didn't want to put it on the stream. So if you guys want to come on and your audio be on the stream, then jump on down here where I'm at. I'm not going to be on too much
That's
longer.
all I can do is analog.
Yeah. Well, hey, fly what you got, man. That's what I always tell people. Fly what you got. There's so much of pressure for some people to buy the newest thing, to have the newest flight controller, to have the
I
newest...
fly analog, HDzero, G and tempted to try walk snail, but they are so inconsistent with their
Fly what you
hardware
got.
I've kept away.
That's what I always tell people. Fly what you got. There's so much... yeah, that's looping back through your live stream's looping back through, Skip.
Sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, you want to talk, you just got to mute my live stream.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
That's all right. That's all right. This is Skip, one of the lead builders at 533. If not the lead builder, I don't know how that's going now. But how's it going, Skip? You doing good, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here messing with a drone right now.
You messing with one of mine?
A UDL
Ah.
with some fast motors on it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, Skip fixes some drones, and I had one that we had to. Skip actually took the camera off of it in the middle of a race, and the eco camera, and I bought a Lux camera to replace it, and I've just not had time to put it on and do any of that. So I sent it and another UDL off to him, and because he just lives just a little ways away from me, doing some building for me. I don't know if contact him. That's what I'll say. If you have something that you think needs to be built or something like that, I don't know if he's still doing it or not. I'm just telling you that he's a good builder and he's a good guy, good honest guy. So give him some love, give him some work, something like that. Raymond, are you here in the U.S.?
I have a bunch of snail birds. Never had trouble with anything. Fried in a 1's VTX. But that was my fault.
Yeah. Raymond, are you here in the U.S.? If you are, I would encourage you to contact Skip, because your problem is it's a different bird, a different type of issue. But if anybody could find a fix,
yes, in California.
Yeah, well, I would get in touch with him if you really want to get that
Uberalls.
Tiny Hawk.
Yeah, that Tiny Hawk flying. I believe Skip could do it for you, and do it in a way, because he's very good at building 3D prints. Like I said, he helped me out on this, and actually taught me how to do it, and so I'm sure he could do it, and do it in a way that it wouldn't be proprietary. Like if he needed to print up something to fit into the frame to be able to put a regular AIO to solder your motors onto, so that if it died again, you could just replace it with a regular AIO. Skip would be my recommendation to somebody that I know personally that does that type of stuff. And I know that 533 that he works for has the pit stop, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to take on another company's proprietary stuff like that. They would probably just tell you, you need to replace, you just need to get a new Emacs AIO, which those are almost as elusive as the Immersion RC 8-ways. So yeah, get in touch with Skip. He's in the Discord right now. If you the link goes up there if you want to jump onto the Discord and talk to him. I'm going to start to go through the process of logging off the live stream, and then I will pause for the calls, and then I'll jump right back on Discord. That's usually what I do after the live stream. We jump on and we'll talk till midnight or 1-2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And everybody, you're welcome. you're welcome to come and join us. I would love to, you know, chat with you on Discord. Maybe we can open up a lobby in Velocidrone or something like that, and fly around TinyWhoops or Tiny Trainers or whatever. I think a Tiny Trainer track is this week's time trial. So, yeah. So do that. And Skip, do you have any other way that people can get in touch with you? You're on Facebook, right?
Yeah, you can go on Facebook at Dustin Fussell.
At Dustin Fussell.
Yeah, but it's best to just go to Discord and .Atreides.
Yeah. Let me do it. On Discord, I'm going to type it.
Yeah.
Dot a trade, just like it sounds. IES.
Yep.
Hang on this.
AT Roddies.
AT Roddies. Yep. There he goes. He's there. He's able to
On
type it in.
Discord. Atreides.
Huh. If you capitalize it, it says it right. Did you notice that, Skip?
Oh, really?
Yeah, when you did it lowercase and it called you Atreides or something. I capitalized the A and it's Jarvis spoke it right. So that's good to know. And it's good to know in races. It might make a difference because it's hard to get trackside to get his name right sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap some things up, and I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Congratulations to Kiz Bartlett on your TinyWhoop win. You know, I don't know what shipping would be like from Colorado to you, or what, you know, and that might be something you might be able to sell or trade with someone that you know somewhere else. Just let me know, and you can do you down in the description that you've done that, or let Jesse know. That's probably the better way. When you get in contact with Jesse,
Thank you again, man.
Let him know. Yeah, my pleasure, kids. I'm glad you finally won something. All right, everybody. I'm gonna call this it for the night. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I especially want to give another big thanks and shout out to Jessie Perkins.
I'll be seeing Jesse so I can see if he can bring it with him when he comes to the UK.
Yes, if you're going to be at the same race that Jesse's at, absolutely do that. I'm sure he can bring it with him. And I'm sure he'll have
Thanks,
stuff.
Marty, been fun.
Yep. I have to talk to you sometime, Great Scott, about silver. I'm into.
Thanks for stream. Take it easy.
I'm into.
Good night, friends.
I'm into silver coins and all of that type stuff. I watch your live stream sometimes. I lurk watching it. But yeah, I'm into numismatism. Is that what it's called? Well, not really that. I'm into silver and gold. That's it. I don't want it. Constitutional silver and bullion. Yeah, I like that. So, yeah. All right.
Sounds good. Love old coins.
Yep.
Numismatics.
Numismatics. That's it. So, all right, guys. I want to thank you, and remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, keep flying, and rise up and meet me in the air. God bless and Happy New Year to all of you.